Hey, 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 how are you doing? Dawnna St. Louis here, and we're going to continue reading the 6 kick-ass strategies of the $1 million entrepreneur. Yes, I know it's backwards. It's something that Facebook does. I can't fix it. And if I can, someone should let me know. Seriously, that would be nice to know. So far we've gone through the first 2 chapters, right? So, hey, Michael, how are you? So far we've gone over the first 2 chapters. Hey, Talal. And we've talked a little bit about like what the challenges are when you first start as an entrepreneur, right? The first challenge is you're sitting there, you feel like you've put all the things in place, you've followed all of the rules, and you're just not getting anywhere, right? And there's nothing more frustrating than when you followed all of the advice of all the experts and still you find yourself struggling. And then we went on to chapter 2, which is a little self-analysis and kind of a bit of a mindset thing, right? Because you know, when you get frustrated, especially when you're working at home or wherever and you're by yourself and you don't really have anyone to work with you, you know, there's no one to bounce ideas off of, and you can get a little bogged down in the head, and that definitely happened to me. You know, I'm sitting there going, this isn't going to work, I'm not making any money, my phone isn't ringing, I followed all the advice of all these damn experts, I put out more social media than I know what to do with. I'm posting every day. I'm spending money on Facebook ads. I'm doing all this stuff, and still I'm not making any money. And then you hear stories like, you know, J.K. Rowling's, who was turned down for 2 years, and finally it was like some 8-year-old little girl who actually got her first book deal. You know, it was kind of sparked it. So now we're on to the next chapter, and the next chapter is titled Sine Qua Non. Sine Qua Non. So what started as a class project, earning Alan, my business partner, top marks in his master's class and garnering much interest from the Dean of Entrepreneurship, turned out to be the source of our success when we started BizIntel. Now, BizIntel was a business intelligence company that my business partner and I started when I was 27 years old. The first 4 strategies were titled the Business Builder's Blueprint, with the Daily 6 and the Kaizen strategies rounding out the last 2 strategies. The Dean doted so much on the simplistic brilliance of the 6 business strategies that I thought Alan's overinflated ego would need its own seat on an airplane most times. The Dean referred to the simplicity of this blueprint as sine qua non of the project. The Dean said, sine qua non means without which not. It means that something, that little something, which is an essential part of the whole. Like a heartbeat is an essential part of life. The strategies shift focus to the essential components of business and removes all the distractions in the process. And we run into this all the time, right? We get distracted by, we got to do social media. We get distracted by, we have to go and do marketing. We get distracted by what color should our logo be, right? We're distracted by all of these other little things. I've even talked to entrepreneurs that spend tens of thousands of dollars hiring people to make very custom websites when they're first starting out, and they don't have any website traffic. I mean, literally, it's like, well, I don't want this blue circle on the left, I want it on the right. And then you start asking yourself, moving the blue circle from the left to the right, is that really going to drive more business? Is it that critical that happens? And most of the time the answer is no. But what happens is we get focused on those little teeny tiny details that really don't impact the bottom line. The business blueprint forces you to ignore those things. So that's why they call it the sine qua non, because you can have a great website and have no business, right? Like literally, right? But you need to have a business in order to have, if you want a great website. Okay. So anyway, it removes the distractions from the process. So while it may be true that without good customer service, meetings, or communications, you won't be in business for very long, the fact remains that without a business, you won't have a need for any of these elements. That's what I was just saying. Further, if there's inconsistency in your business, using these 4 strategies will reveal the blind spots due to the heavy focus on the fundamentals. You know, if you ever watch basketball, hey Michael, if you ever watch basketball, I can't remember the name of this player right now, but they call him Mr. Fundamentals, and he just retired for San Antonio. And people would call him the most boring player ever. Tall guy from Jamaica, Mr. Fundamentals. I've never actually seen him do a dunk. I'm not even sure if he can do a dunk, right? But he has a ton of championship rings because he's so badass. Tim Duncan, yes, thank you, Michael. Tim Duncan is Mr. Fundamentals, right? That's really what this blueprint is. Hey, Jeff, it's all about the fundamentals first. Hey, you know what? You can get fancy and sexy and hot after you have the baseline of your business. So this is exactly what my business needed. Focus on the fundamentals, not the sexy website, not the cool marketing, not what am I going to say on a sales call. I needed to focus first on the fundamentals. So even though I had all the puzzle pieces for a good business, they were to all different types of puzzles. Something was missing, and the B3, which is the Business Builder's Blueprint, was a perfect place to start. I knew it would take time, and I had to have patience, something I've never had a lot of, by the way. I also knew that this one action would be the start of a positive change if I could just get it done. Now, again, I know this is backwards, but I just want you to see this is the blueprint, and we're going to talk about the top half and the lower half in a second. So the B3 had 4 categorized strategies. So the 2 on the top are focus and funding, and the 2 on the bottom are function and future. The top half of the pie, which is, again, focus and funding, is all about profits. It's all about making money. In fact, when I work with entrepreneurs, if they're not making money, we only focus on the top half. And until the top half is really up and running, then we go into the bottom half. So the bottom half is all about the operations of your business and the growth of your business and where you're heading. It's all about running the business. So starting with the focus, a business owner would head clockwise through each quadrant until their business is completely mapped. Any areas that cause a significant point of difficulty are likely to be a blind spot or have a blind spot directly before or after it. So here's an example. Let's say that your business is having trouble with leads. Okay, you're not getting any leads. There is usually one of 2 issues causing that problem. Either the leads are not right for your business, or the business can't convert a lead to a sale. It's one of those 2. At the end of the day, we know there's a problem in your funding quadrant, but now we have to figure out where the problem specifically is. So I want you to think about that. There are 12 major components in your business, and literally by mapping to the blueprint, we can pinpoint exactly where your problem is, usually within a couple of hours. If you can't convert a lead to a sale, then your sales strategies and tactics, pricing, maybe even your sales pros probably need an overhaul. But if the issues are with the quality of the lead, then your marketing needs some work. If your marketing is the problem, then we'd work backwards through the focus strategy to figure out what's going on. So we would go from funding to say, hey, so you got good leads, but maybe your marketing is bad, right? So the leads are good, but you're not converting them. So maybe you have a conversion issue, or you have crap leads. So maybe you have crap marketing. Oh, you have crap marketing. Well, maybe you don't know who your target market or what you're delivering, or maybe you're not being clear enough on what you're focused on. So we literally work backwards to find what your problem is, and we can usually pinpoint it very quickly. So I was ready to dip my toes into the pool of the first 4 strategies. While I knew they worked, I was concerned with how long it would take and how much of what I already built would be thrown away. Because don't we hate that? Don't we hate that we created this great social media marketing program and we've done all this work, and at the end of the day, it might be throwaway? I see a lot of people get caught in this, and let me tell you, in business, we call this sunk cost. It's already gone. You got to let it go. Let's see. But in my soul, I knew that if I wanted to build a new empire, which I did, that I needed a solid foundation, and B3 would deliver exactly that. Okay, so this is the first 3 chapters. This is part 1. This is all about the problem getting to the solution. So tomorrow we're going to talk about part 2. And part 2 is where we really get into each one of the focus areas of the blueprint. So we're going to start with focus tomorrow, and we're going to go through each one of the areas and really give you an idea. Now, there were a couple of things, and I got some paper here. There were a couple of things that I wanted to share, a little quick review for you guys. All right, so here's the first one. I said at the very, very, very beginning, and I tell this to people all the time. They're like, I'm buying your book. I'm buying your book. I'm going to read your book. Your book is awesome. And that's great. However, I'm going to say this one more time. My book will not make you rich. I'm never going to tell you that promise. I'm never going to tell you that lie. At the end of the day, if you really want to make money, you have to take consistent action. And you have to take action. Recognize that along the way, even though you read the book, you're going to make mistakes. But you learn from those mistakes, and then you move forward applying the lessons you've learned. It doesn't mean that I'm going to keep going this way and I'm going to do this no matter what. I hear people all the time, they say they want to talk about things like they want to be speakers. And so they're like, I'm going to talk about procrastination. And I'm like, so your target market is a room full of procrastinators, which means they're never actually going to make it to your event. So what are you really selling? What is the result of what people are going to get? And that's what focus helps you with. So we want to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time that's right for your business. Tactics mean very little without a driving strategy. And that has to fit within your framework. Michael says, my best teacher is my last mistake. Absolutely. And so here's the thing about tactics. I hear people all the time. They say, oh, I just went to this meeting and this guy was talking about how to do this thing with Facebook and connect it to my website, and that's going to blah, blah, blah. And he has this whole thing. And then I said, yeah, but when they go to your website, what is the focus of your business? And a lot of times people don't know the answer to that. And that is a challenge. You have to make sure that your blueprint, your business, your framework is completely mapped out. So when you do that work that you want to do, it actually fits and it makes sense. Otherwise, you're just running on a treadmill. You're just doing business just to say you're busy. You're busy for busyness sake, not for business sake. This is one of my favorites because this one drives me nuts. Everyone's supposed to do list won't get you success until you know how those things that you're supposed to do reach your milestones, how those milestones reach your goals, and how your goals actually reach your vision. You really don't want to just be to doing things just because other people are to doing them. When hiring a business coach, this is a big one. When hiring a business coach, look for someone who has an actual methodology. Now that's a big, drop my paper again. Okay. Look for someone who has an actual methodology and consider learning the methodology more so than just picking the brain of the coach to do the methodology for you. Because here's the thing. So first, a methodology. A methodology is a framework. This means that this person has a step-by-step process with inputs, outputs, tools, and techniques. Like they can literally come and they can plug and play just about every business. Then make sure that that coach has a specialty. So for example, I specialize in people that have intellectual property, something mentally that they can sell. Usually these people are speakers and experts and that type of thing. And then the other one is that I have people who are service-oriented experts. So now notice I'm not telling you people who work in retail, people who are in manufacturing, people who are in restaurants. I'm very specific with the people I work with because I'm literally working with people to do something that I've already done. That is the best and most effective use of me as a coach. So it drives me nuts when you go to some of these companies and they'll tell you that any coach can coach anyone on anything. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that's true. Because if I go, listen, I have an issue with my Raman spectroscopy and I really need someone to help me with that target market, they're not even going to know what it is most of the time. So you really want to make sure that you're getting a coach that has a methodology, that has a framework that you can learn. So no matter what happens, even when you're not working with that coach, you then can plug your business into that methodology, and then you can use it even when the coach is not around. And I know somebody told me before, Dawnna, that's putting yourself out of business. No, it's not, because I'm more than happy to teach people the methodology. Now we're speaking the same language. I know what they're talking about. They know what I'm talking about. And when they have a problem, it's easier for me to communicate why they're having that challenge and what they need to do move forward. A lot of times that's all people really need, but you have to be speaking the same language. So you want to have someone with a blueprint. That's important. Business does not start with sales. I know people think that. They think it starts with sales and marketing. but it doesn't. Business actually starts with your focus. Because if you go to door and you just knock on someone's door and you say, hey, do you want to buy something? They're going to need to know what it is you're selling. So your business actually starts with your focus. And your focus is your expertise, and then your target market, who wants it, and then delivery. How do they want to get it? Not necessarily how do you want to deliver it, but how do they want to get it? You have to have those three things nailed before you start marketing anything. And you're going to learn more about that tomorrow. And the last thing is this, and this is one of my favorites. An overcrowded marketplace simply means that no one in that marketplace is outstanding. This means it's your opportunity to come in and stand out. That's what that means. Don't be afraid of an overcrowded marketplace. Don't look and say everyone's doing it. Think about how you do it differently, because better is always required. You have to be a little bit better than your competition, but different closes a hell of a lot more deals. So anyway, that's all for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about strategy number 1, which is focus. And we're going to talk about how to strengthen your focus, how to strengthen the core of your business. So even if you haven't started your business yet, this is where you would start. So tomorrow is all about the core of your business, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. Holla!